Hello, I'm Soul and welcome to my review of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So Cross Tag is a fighting game released on May 31st, 2018 in Japan, June 5th in America, and June 22nd in the UK. The game features characters from different franchises like BlazBlue, obviously, Under Night In-Birth, EXE Latest, or as the kids say, Unist, Persona 4 Arena, and Ruby for some reason. So while the game had a troubled launch, it was treated with mostly positive reviews, and was even nominated for multiple fighting game awards. Which I find quite odd. Frankly speaking, this game is at best a disappointment, and at worst a stain on fighting game history. Let me explain. Firstly, the combat. The whole gimmick of Cross Tag is the tag team fights. A huge problem I have with Cross Tag is how low the health bars are. Look, I get that they want to make a more simplified fighting game, most likely in hopes of drawing in new players. And some people try to justify it by saying the health bars are shorter because they're now two characters, and while that's probably true, I feel like it doesn't completely justify the mechanic. Let's use Hyde and Lynn as examples, since they don't change too much between games. Well, at least comparatively. If we were to compare Hyde's Pellbringer move, in Unist, basic A combo into Pellbringer takes about a quarter of Lynn's health. In Cross Tag, one attack immediately followed by Pellbringer does just about the same amount of damage to Lynn. But in Cross Tag, you can follow up with a partner attack, meaning at best half your character's health bar is gone from one move. Well, technically two. My problem with this mechanic is that it's set up in a way that rewards fast and aggressive play, which I usually like. But in this case it seems counterproductive to the goal of attracting players that are new to fighting games. Mostly because I doubt new players like it when they go into an online match and are immediately shoved into a corner by a Diamond Rate Makoto, and before they can even figure out what happened, they've already lost the match. Not that I've had that experience. But that brings me to my next point. The characters are imbalanced to an absurd degree. So before I played Cross Tag, I played Unist. So I'm used to every character having that one broken move. Yeah, some are easier to do than others, but in Cross Tag it seems like a contest of who has more bullshit. So originally in the script I was going to ramble on for a good bit about which character is the most bullshit, but that got me thinking, how does one define a bullshit character? Some people might say a character that can animation lock is unbalanced and therefore bullshit. Well, no, I'm like 90% sure every character can animation lock in the right circumstances, which would wrap it back around to being balanced. So is it characters that are really fast, you might say? Well, no, again. Consider this. Seth is fast and can spam lock, but he has low health to balance him more. But Ruby has about the same amount of health, is also about as fast, but she has range, spammable attacks, and a small hitbox. Yet some people see Seth as a bigger problem. Let's put it like this. Jesh believes that Nu is a broken character, and while I don't completely agree, I do see where he's coming from. The thing is, he doesn't believe Yosuke is unbalanced, which is a bit odd since I don't see much of a difference between them. Initially, I had thought, well, he is a Persona fanboy, so he probably would be biased. And while that's probably a part of it, it's more likely to be based on his experience with the characters. Or more specifically, losing to said characters. With Nu, he lost a lot, typically in the same way. With Yosuke, he's lost maybe once. In the end, I don't think I can give an accurate description of what a bullshit character is, because of subjectivity. I mean, don't get me wrong, the characters are still kinda bullshit, but how do you compare different types of bullshit? For example, Tiger has good range, lots of invincibility frames, lots of health, and magnetism that will draw you closer to him. But how do you compare him to Batista, who can literally shoot laser beams at you and keep you in the corner? Okay, I've talked enough about the gameplay mechanics. Let's now discuss the audio and visual side of things. The 2D sprites for Unist, BlazBlue, and Persona 4 Arena are ripped straight out of their respective games, which is fine. There's no point not to reuse their assets. The Ruby sprites, however, were specifically made for this game, and they're pretty good. The only problem I can think of is that in certain colors they aren't as recognizable as other characters, but that's a pretty small issue compared to the interaction scenes. Just take a look at this interaction.
Brother, let's kill each other. Stop crying, you little punk. I'll deal with you later.
Don't get me wrong, the voice acting is good, but the interactions are long, badly edited, and have weird pauses, and are sometimes just nonsensical.
Hard-boiled? Now you're talking like a man.
I mean, really, look at this. You call this lip syncing? The main problem I have with these interactions is that it just seems lazy to not fix it when it's so easy to do so. Well, I'm done with my major points. Now I'll move on to my small issues with crosstag that only slightly bug me. In the main lobby, there are colored lines that lead you to different interaction menus. The red line leads to the shop, the blue line leads to online lobbies, the yellow line leads to ranking board, and the purple line leads to 3 arcade machines that don't fucking do anything. In the customization menu, there is a setting for avatars and accessories, which is stupid because there are no accessories in the game yet, and it's been over a year since it was first released. Well, that's all the negatives for crosstag. The list of positives is admittedly quite small in comparison, but still worth noting. Firstly, the story mode, labeled as episode mode, is, if nothing else, a humorous visual novel experience with battles cut in between. And while I give the fight system a lot of shit, I will say that when you're not being animation locked into a corner, it can be a fun experience. And at the core, I believe video games are meant to be fun. I simply enjoy playing games with Dish. I take my mains, Ragnar, I just cut myself on that blood edge, and Ragnar's biggest fan, and fight as fair as possible.
Are you sure about that?
So yeah, that's all the positives. Well, such ends my review of 420 Blue Blazer Croissant Tagurette Battle Royale. But before I give my exact score, I'd like to say that while my opinions on crosstag seem overly negative, I just call them like I see them. And in this case, I see more negative than positive. But this whole video is just my opinion on the matter, so please leave comments of your thoughts and opinions on crosstag. Straight up, I give it a 5.3 instant souls out of 10. It has way too many problems for me to give it anything more than a 6 out of 10, and some of the easily fixable problems have been neglected, which lowers it for me. All in all, the sum that is crosstag somehow feels lesser than its parts. But anyways, my friend JustTV, who helped me get this footage, rates it in a much more positive light. He gives it 8 Gordos out of 10. Well, that's been all for this episode of Veritas.